Hi. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dom. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I typically make bookish content, movie content, and anything else in between because I like to do whatever I want on this channel, and tonight is going to be travel content. I'm using the word travel lightly because I don't mean anything grandiose. I just mean being a tourist in my own city. Two of my friends from college came down to Chicago the other day, so we went to the Field Museum. The Field Museum is a famous museum in Chicago that's home to a lot of history, anthropology, archaeology, paleontology, you name it, and it is there. It's most famous for having the T-Rex named Sue. The reason Sue is so famous is because she is one of the largest, most extensive, and best preserved T-Rex fossils paleontologists have ever found. I've been to the Field Museum multiple times in my life. It was one of the first field trips I went to when I was like 6 years old. It's not really changed since then. Like, a lot of the exhibits were the same as they were when I was 6 years old, however many years ago, which it was definitely the early 2000s. The last time I went to the Field Museum, I want to say was the summer before I started college. I'm not too sure on that. Since then, the only major change they really made was the Sue dinosaur. So she actually used to be in the lobby right when you walk in. They have since changed that to another dinosaur named Maximus. Now Sue has her own room in the dinosaur exhibit. I don't really want to do any voiceovers for this vlog. Really what I want to do is just play the videos I took with some music over it. I'll just do some talking here just so you guys have an idea of what you're going to see. The first thing we did was the dinosaur exhibit. It's not really the dinosaur exhibit, it's actually called the mass extinction exhibit. When you walk in, you start from the beginning of Earth and make your way through that era. You make your way through all the mass extinctions, such as the Cambrian period, the Cretaceous period, the Jurassic period, all of that, it's there. So, you know, we got to see the early days when animals didn't even exist. You get to walk through the early dinosaur phase when, like, the dinosaurs as we know it didn't exist quite yet. Then you get to the big dinosaur room. Sue's room is right next to that. Then you make your way to the Ice Age portion. Then we went to the section that focuses on the Oceania period, so we got to go into a Mori hut. We also got to see a little portion about how the people of Tahiti live, so that was pretty cool. But after that exhibit, we made our way to one of the extra exhibits that's not part of the general admission. This whole exhibit was just about creatures that lived in the waters before Earth became what it is today. So we got to see a lot of prehistoric animals. We saw the evolution of sharks, basically. I forgot the exact name of the exhibit, but it did have something to do, I think it was called like Monsters of the Sea, basically. I think that was the technical name. I think it's a limited time exhibit, but we made sure to make our way there just because somehow my friends were able to get to that exhibit for free, but I couldn't. I did have to pay extra. So we made sure to get there so that I would get my money's worth. Because we spent like 2-3 hours in the mass extinction exhibit, not knowing it was going to take us that long. We spent the later portion of the day going to the ancient Egypt exhibit. This personally is one of my favorite exhibits. Every time I go to the Field Museum, I always make a point of going there, so I highly recommended this one to my friends. The Field Museum does have mummies, and not only human mummies, but there are actual animal mummies as well. Something I actually learned is that we know the names of many of the mummies in the exhibit. I never knew that before. Some of them are unknown, but the majority of them do have names, and I did take a video of that poster, so you will see that. And there's mummies of all ages. Like, we have grown men, grown women. There's a whole portion dedicated to children. And again, there's also the animal mummies. And then we only had about an hour, so we spent that in the animal portion. It's just this huge exhibit of just animal taxidermy. For the majority of this exhibit, and it's like huge, you're going through multiple hallways. It's not just like animals on display. They're all like positioned to look like they're doing something in the wild. And then of course, at the end of the day, I had to get a Mold-A-Rama. These are so popular in the Chicago area. They are at any tourist spot you can think of. And if you don't know anything about these, what everyone loves is the smell when they first come out. When they are fresh, everyone just holds them to their nose and takes a deep breath. Not liking the fact they're $5 now, because I do remember when they were only $2. And that was the date. And yeah, I could assure you we still only saw like maybe half the museum, 3/4 of it at most, because there is a whole portion dedicated to Native Americans, and I think there's a whole exhibit dedicated to like living in Africa as well. And I've been to all those exhibits before, but the one exhibit I've still never been to is in the kind of in the basement of the Field Museum. it's called like underground, and I remember as a kid people always described it as you shrinking. Like as kids everyone always thought they were shrinking, but what's really happening is that the bugs on the wall are just gradually getting bigger. There's also exhibits about the gems and the jades. Those are really boring. I always whiz through that the rare times I go through those exhibits. And there's one more exhibit that you have to pay for, which is World of Color. Don't know what that is. And there's also an exhibit dedicated to China and Chinese art. That one I've never been to. That one we unfortunately missed. So it's a really big museum because all these exhibits we could not get to. And we arrived pretty early. We were there from about, I want to say 10 a.m. to closing, which is 5 p.m. And we still missed like a good portion of the museum. If you ever go to Chicago and want to go to the Field Museum, just be aware of that it is big. And if you do take your time, you are going to miss out on a lot. Don't rush. Definitely take your time. It's a very educational museum. And I love going to that museum because I learn something new every time I go. As you watch the video, I'll put some text boxes here and there just so you guys like know what you're seeing. And without further ado, let's jump into all the videos I took.